Hello, this is Mg395 Accounting. Today we'll be talking about the Chapter 7 problem set, specifically question number 2. This is Group 2, and I'm Jackson Biddle narrating today. Our problem is number 2. Crawford Company sells on credit with the terms N over 30. For the $500,000 of accounts at the end of the year that are not overdue, there is a 90% probability of collection. For the $200,000 of accounts that are less than a month past due, Crawford estimates the likelihood of collection going down to 70%. The probability of collecting the $100,000 of accounts more than a month past due is estimated to be 25%. Required, Part 1, prepare an aging schedule to estimate the amount of uncollectible accounts. 2, on the basis of the schedule in Part 1, identify and analyze the adjustment needed to estimate bad debt. Assume that the balance and allowance for doubtful accounts is $20,000. To explain the terms that we'll be using in this problem, first we see N over 30. N over 30 means that they're using credit and they expect the people using credit to pay their accounts back within 30 days. Otherwise, they're overdue. So the first category of accounts here, $500,000, are not overdue. They met the terms of N over 30. The other accounts are tardy. So in our aging schedule, we have 3 different categories. We have those not overdue, those less than a month overdue, and those greater than a month overdue. We'll fill in the estimated amounts according to the problem. The first part is first category, $500,000. Less than 1 month overdue, we have $200,000. Greater than 1 month overdue, we have $100,000. And we'll also total these up. That adds up to a total of $800,000 of sales and credit. Now the percent uncollectible is nearly given in the problem, but what we'll have to do is subtract the percent they expect to be collected, and that'll give it from 100, and that'll give us the percent uncollectible. So for the first category, with $500,000, they expect to collect 90%. That means the percent uncollectible will be 10%. Just 100 minus the percentage given. Less than, or the second category, less than 100,000, less than 1 month, they give us 70%. So that means that 30% will be uncollectible. Only for the very overdue accounts, the last category, they expect that only 25% will pay, in which case 100 minus 25 is 75%. Now we'll multiply this percent uncollectible by the estimated amount in order to get the dollars uncollectible. So 500,000 times 0.1 ends up being $50,000. 200,000 times 0.3 is $60,000. 100,000 times 0.75 is $75,000. And that adds up to a total of $185,000. So what we just did is, based on these 3 categories, estimate how likely it is that they won't pay their money back, which the company already did. And we use that information to estimate how much money will not be collected. Now, if we add each category of debts or of uncollected accounts up, we get this total number, which is the total number that we expect will not be paid back. This is the amount of money we expect not to be paid back by customers on credit. So a total of $185,000 out of the $800,000 of credit, of sales we made on credit. Now for part 2, we'll use the schedule in order to figure out the allowance for bad debts adjustment. In part 2, it says to assume that the allowance for doubtful accounts is $20,000. Now at the end of the accounting period, we'll have to make an adjustment on the balance sheet to make allowance for doubtful accounts correct. You have to make an adjustment because you estimated the allowance for bad debts at the beginning of the period, and the company chose to estimate $20,000. Now, with the more information that we created and used with the aging schedule, we'll create an actual more realistic amount that we can use for the adjustment on the balance sheet. So the total money uncollectible we get from the aging schedule, it's $185,000. $185,000. Then we subtract the balance that's already in the account. $20,000 was put in the account already. So to find the difference, the adjustment needed, we subtract the balance that's already there from the actual amount that won't be collected. So basically they expected $20,000 to be uncollected. With our better estimate we found out that $185,000 will not be collected. So the adjustment we'll have to make at the end of the period for better information is $165,000. $185,000 minus $20,000 gets you $165,000. Oops. Once again, it's the total amount uncollectible minus the balance that's already in that bad debts account equals the adjustment you need to make. So it's relatively straightforward math in both of these problems. And that gets you looking with the solution in the problem set, which looks like this. A table exactly like we made above, and then the math that we did written out in sentence form with the same answer of $165,000. Sir class, thank you. That's my explanation for Chapter 7, Question 2. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me about this problem. Thank you.